Baby Brie, who has never spent more than a few hours away from me at a time, has been taken from the only home she's ever known. Infants who thrive on stability and trust and suffer lifelong consequences when they're torn away from the nurturing bond between mother and baby. She is a victim of a system broken by the war on drugs. She has been betrayed by the state, even though state laws have been set up in legislation to protect her from the developmental consequences that can last a lifetime. Please tell the state to abide by the protections afforded to parents and their children in the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act and return Bree to her home.
I'm an attorney with Cannabis Counsel, and I am so sorry to say that this case is not isolated. Patients are under attack in this state. The phone is ringing off the hook with mothers being threatened by social workers at hospitals before they give birth, threatened that they may not be able to take their child home. Mothers and fathers. There's one father I represented. After CPS took the daughter out from under the safety of her father's roof, she became pregnant as a young girl. Now they intervene in our lives unreasonably so. And it's a matter of fundamental rights, the most fundamental rights we have. That if I, as father of three, and all of you fathers and mothers, and the children, we deserve better in this state, and we demand better. This level of xenophobia against patients being carried out by the state of Michigan across so many areas, whether it's employment, they try to take our jobs from us, whether it's unemployment, the list goes on and on, our freedom, the forfeiture, the seizures. I mean, they think it's routine that, after a criminal case is completed, the police calls up and they say, oh, we'll split the 20 grand with you. You take 10, we'll take 10, we'll call it a day. What do you say? That's the state of things. Our property, our liberty, our very life is what they are taking from us. And we will not stand for it. We are done. But now with our children, this is where we draw the line. This is it. This is our red line. We will shut things down, I tell you.
How dare they? It's our right.
And so it is. Thank you very much.
My name is Charmie Gholson. I'm the founder of Michigan Moms United. The Michigan Medical Marijuana Act was passed with overwhelming support in 2008, and specific protections were written into that voter-initiated law to protect families from removing children from the homes of caregivers and patients who register with the state. 5 years after the enactment of our law, Michigan Child Protective Services continues to unjustly remove children from the homes of state-sanctioned medical marijuana patients and caregivers. Last Friday, an Ingham County judge removed 6-month-old Bree Green from her loving parents despite their status as state-sanctioned medical marijuana patients and caregivers. This is only one of many widespread incidents throughout Michigan involving CPS agencies that disregard the clearly written protections provided in the Act. Michigan Moms United and every one of these people here today calls on the state of Michigan to immediately return this infant to her parents and adhere to the Medical Marijuana Act. There's a clear pattern of abuse and intimidation coming out of Child Protective Services. I've heard over and over again from victims, the judge said, I don't care about the medical marijuana law. The prosecutor, there is no, Oakland County is the root of all evil regarding the Medical Marijuana Act and our rights. I've been told over and over again from people in there that they are told there is no such thing as the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. We go by federal law. Well, I beg to differ because we voted this law in and we know our state's rights and we know our rights as parents. These are our children.
I represent Steve and Maria Green on the CPS investigation in that matter. We are actively pursuing to get Bree back into their custody. That's something we are working on currently, and I will be filing additional pleadings. And I will be filing additional pleadings this afternoon to pursue getting their custody back. I would like to also reiterate that this isn't just about Bree. This has happened across the state, and what has happened is wrong. Thank you. It's important that we as people stand up for the law that we initiated and voted for. And it's time that that law is upheld by the state of Michigan.
I just want to take the opportunity to thank you all for coming out here and showing your support. This is the kind of support that this bill had when it passed in every single county in the state of Michigan, passed with a 2/3 majority. The public spoke. They spoke for no penalties, civil or criminal, for medical marijuana qualifying patients and caregivers. They spoke for a law with a huge majority that said that parents would be protected against this sort of adverse custody action. And now, here in Ingham County Court, a gentleman who I hesitate to call a judge, despite the fact he occupies the office, said he didn't care about the law. He didn't care about these parents. He didn't care about this child. He was going to take this child from these loving parents, and he was going to violate the law. And no matter what happens in appellate court, no matter how many times this particular judge is rebuked, when a judge that actually cares about the law gets the case, this infant was still taken from her mother. And this infant has still been separated from her parents. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And so I wanted to stand up here and say a couple things. One is that when you look at the rationale that this judge employed when he put down his ruling, the judge basically said that because of the position that the parents hold as caregivers, therefore they were subject to additional risk of robbery, and therefore the court could take away their child. This is the slipperiest slope I have ever heard of, right? Absolutely. Now, this sort of twisted and imbecilic logic can be extended to some outrageous scenarios, right? How many of you think that a judge in this state would say, you wealthy people in the 5,000 square foot mansion, you're subject to being robbed. You've got all that valuable stuff. We're going to take your kids away. Would that ever happen in America? Hell no. Hell no. That would never happen in America. Why? Because the rich and powerful play by a different set of rules. So here we stand at the foot of DHS asking for justice. I'm so proud to be standing here with all of you. I'm proud to be standing here with these loving parents. We need to free Bree. We need to return her to her parents. And we need to have a judicial system that follows the clear letter of the law here in the state of Michigan. So thank you all for being here.